Okay. Today I want to talk a little bit about France's geography and some of the different regions in France. Since we've been talking about food, a lot of specific regions in France are known for producing specific types of food, and based on the climate of the area and based on what the soil's like and all kinds of things. So first, before I have a couple of video clips to show you. But before we watch those, I want to just talk a little bit about the general geography of France. So if you would, you've got your blue books there, take a look in the back at the map section, page R2. You'll find just kind of a simple map of La France. And I'm going to write up a couple of questions here in French and see if you can answer them using the information on the map here. Ok, so pour numéro 1, oui, quels sont les pays? Qu'est-ce que c'est un pays? Country, yeah. Frontier. Bordering, yeah. What are the bordering countries of France? Numéro 2, quels cours d'eau sont près de la France? Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire?
What bodies of water are near France?
What bodies of water are near France or around France? Numéro 3, comment s'appellent les montagnes dans la France?
What are the mountains?
There are a couple of different nature mountain ranges. And so you'll find all of the answers here on the map. So I'll give you a few minutes. See if you can answer in complete sentences. Then I'm going to give you a map of all of the regions as well, and we'll talk about what those are.
You need an article in front of each country?
Typically, yeah, if you're listing them, typically you would. So for, let's see here. Well, since you don't know if it's masculine or feminine, go ahead and just list the name, that's fine. For a lot of these bordering countries, since they begin with vowels, you would just use L apostrophe.
I like them. So I'm happy that it's that and not like
I kind of want to read it in Cold Blood.
I know, I kind of want to too, but I think,
Or Little Bee.
yeah, I
Like
think
I want to read the ones with like murders and stuff.
I'm saving those for summer. I'm gonna try to. I don't know, cause like
Because those are interesting.
these are
and-
the 3 that I'm thinking about for novel analysis.
Yeah, I want to read this one.
But I'm thinking if I don't do this, I will do any of these. If I don't do, I will do in summer. But I think I'm gonna do In Cold Blood in the summer. And there was another one as well. Cause like I wrote down, I might do a lesson for dying in summer too. Then I'll do a not depressing one. All of my books last year were depressing, but they were super interesting. I think my favorite project was making a test. I think I'll probably go with this one for.
Yeah. I've been thinking.
Because I've been wanting to read it since
A
the
Tale
summer.
of Two Cities. Or maybe.
I never even thought I would like this one, but then when she explained it, like, it sounded really interesting.
I've tried reading. I think I've tried reading Cold Blood before, but it's kind of slow.
I think a lot of books are slow. Have you ever read The Child Called It?
Yes. No. No, I didn't.
Okay, that one's immediately.
Yeah.
You probably like it. If you like the trilogy,
Tears of Tiger.
yeah, it's kind of like that.
Okay, so we'll just go over verbally. So, quels sont les pays frontières de la France? So if you're going to answer this in a complete sentence, you would just respond with les pays frontières sont, they are, and then we'll just list them like we do in English. So you'll notice here, of course, everything is, they have all of the titles of the countries and the bodies of water and everything in French, in their French names. And we've talked about a lot of these countries before, so you're probably able to figure out which ones they are based on where they are and maybe how they're spelled. So we've got, first of all, Angleterre, up to the north here. Qu'est-ce que c'est l'Angleterre? What country would that be? It's not physically bordering it, but up to the north. Any ideas? Up in the north, up at the very top here. So Angleterre.
Oh, is
England.
Oh.
Great Britain or England, yeah. And so it doesn't have a land border, but it shares the English Channel body of water. In French it's called La Manche. And we might have talked in here before about running from Paris to London. A lot of people will take a commute from Paris to London if they work in one city and they do business in the other. There is something called, what is it called? The Channel, that's what it's called in English. The Channel is like an underground subway that actually goes below the English Channel, so it's underneath the water. It's a very weird architectural feat, actually. And so you can have a quick ride from like Le Havre, France, which is up at the kind of the north west tip here, and you can take the Channel and go all the way over to England. So that's one of the fastest and most convenient ways to get there. And obviously, since France is not a very big country, it's only about as big as the state of Texas, you know, it's easy to travel over to some of these other bordering countries, you know, on the weekends or for business, things like that. So we've got Angleterre, then along the side, what else do we have? Belgique, qu'est-ce que c'est Belgique? Belgium. We've got Luxembourg, right, that one's pretty simple. Allemagne, Germany, good. Suisse, oui. Italy, Italy. Espagne, Spain, of course. And yesterday I had you do the reading in the book, and I don't know how much you were able to get from it. I know it was a little bit tricky. But it talked about the Canal du Midi. And the Canal du Midi runs right along the southern tip of Spain, here, or excuse me, southern tip of France, over to the west side. And it runs through, almost like bordering Spain and France. And what was the purpose of the Canal du Midi? Do you remember from the reading? Yeah, from one ocean to the other. So here in this case we've got l'Atlantique, Océan Atlantique, over here to the north, and then to the south we've got la mer Méditerranée. Okay, voilà. So the Mediterranean Sea, of course, would be down here. So yeah, they wanted to make, you know, a canal is just a man-made structure meant to link up two bodies of water. Otherwise, they're going to have to go all the way around, and so this is a big time saver. But now, if I remember from the reading, the purpose of the canal is more like a tourist attraction. It's very beautiful, and so people will take, you know, their own private boats out on the canal. They'll walk along. They have like big flanking sides where people can run and jog and have picnics and stuff. And there are a lot of old structures, bridges and things like that, old aqueducts that you can go and visit along this canal. So anyway, that's down along that region. If you look on the map here, it's along where like the Pyrenees mountains are, les Pyrénées. Okay, good. Then we've got quels cours d'eau sont près de la France. So nous avons l'océan Atlantique, qui est autour de France, around France, la mer Méditerranée, la Manche, and mer du Nord. What would mer du Nord translate to?
The Black Sea.
The North Sea. Would that, maybe that would be the Black Sea in English. The Black Sea is around there. Let me look on our map here. Let's see here. No, I'm sorry. The Black Sea is to the east, southeast of Europe. So it is the North Sea up here in between like Norway and England. Okay, and then we have the Baltic Sea there. Okay, yeah. Okay. Et comment s'appellent les montagnes dans la France? Oui, Marie? What's one of them?
Les Pyrenees.
Yeah, les Pyrénées, the Pyrenees, right? We call it the same thing in English. What else?
Les Alpes.
Les Alpes, the Alps, of course, which border on, mostly with Italy actually, but a little bit with Switzerland as well. We also have in the center of the country, which is kind of unusual, le Massif Central. And then along the eastern edge here, bordering up with Switzerland and Germany, we have what are called les Vosges, the Vosges Mountains. And I believe that the Alps are by far the largest ones, but they're all these massive mountain ranges. So it's unusual. France has a lot of various terrain. If you live up in the northern portion of France, like Paris, for example, Paris has all of the different seasons that we do. Fairly similar. They have kind of harsh winters, but beautiful summers, and it gets just as warm as it does here. On the north coast, along like La Manche and That tends to be pretty, almost like Seattle weather, kind of gray, but more mild for most of the year. And then if you move down to the south of France, along what's called the Riviera, next to the Mediterranean Sea, that has almost like a kind of a Florida-esque type climate. So within this one little country, you have lots of different regions, lots of different weather, and obviously if you live in the mountains, you're going to have a whole range of strange mountain weather. It's going to be colder and more snow and all of that. So what I want to do is give you this region map then, because the regions aren't actually shown on this map. But you'll see in the outline of France there that France has, I think it's 22 regions. And so we're going to watch a few videos. We might only have time for a couple today, one or two, but there are a couple of regions that we'll talk about. So the first one, we're going to watch a video that takes place in Aix-en-Provence. Aix-en-Provence, if you look at your green map, is down south. It's on the Riviera, on the Mediterranean Sea, and it's by Marseille. There's a little cluster of red dots there, Aix-en-Provence. So it would be in the region which is called Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur. And we talked about before how Provence is, if something is called provincial, it's like it's in the country, it's a little bit more away from the huge cities of Paris and Toulouse and Nice and all of those. So, so we'll watch a little clip here and you can see what it looks like. You can see they're going to talk about, I think, maybe some of the different products that come out of the country. And this is Rick Steves, who we've watched before in here. We've seen him in Paris before. And so he goes all over the place and he specializes in Europe. So we'll just watch him and talk about it a little bit.
Provence is the historic capital of the region. For a tourist, Aix is delightfully free of must-see museums or ancient ruins. It's simply a wealthy town. Its people known for living well and looking good. Aix's university gives the city a youthful energy. Centuries ago, the king made Aix the district's administrative center. Noble French families moved in, kicking off the city's beautiful age, or Belle Epoque. They lined the streets with private mansions, giving Aix its classy appearance. Aix thrived thanks to its aristocratic population. But when the revolution came and the bust of the king on the city hall was replaced by Marianne, the Lady of the Republic, suddenly it became dangerous to be an aristocrat. The wealthy fled the city, and Aix slumbered through most of the 1800s. But today, once again, it's resumed its trendy ways. The main boulevard, Cour Mirabeau, is designed for the rich and famous to strut their fancy stuff. It survives much as it was, narrow for traffic, and very wide for pedestrians who would promenade under their elegant mansions. Cour Mirabeau remains the place for tendance. That's trendiness. The French are world-class people watchers. Enjoy the show. In Aix's old town, inviting pedestrian streets hum with activity. Towns are particularly lively on market days. Good guidebooks list market days, and travelers who plan well enjoy the most vivid experience. Aix's farmers market is a classic Provençal scene. Rustic farmers selling fresh produce under the shade of graceful plane trees.
Freshness is everything in the Provençal cooking. Here's your garlic, essential to Provençal cuisine. Can't cook without it.
No way.
And you have your herbs of Provence, you have your dried sage, thyme, rosemary. We're all set for cooking. Bonjour! Oh, avec plaisir. This is goat cheese. In Provence, we have goat cheese, not cow's cheese.
Ah, and it's not so strong.
It is very good, delicious. It goes from mild to stronger in taste with age.
C'est délicieux.
Merci beaucoup.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Just beyond any market, you're likely to find the local gang playing boule. Boule is the horseshoes of southern France. It's played in every village on gravelly courts kept just for this purpose. Every French boy grows up playing boule. It's entertaining to watch, especially if you understand the rules. Boule is played with heavy metal balls, or boule, and a tiny target ball. Whoever gets their boule closest to the target ball scores. There are two on a team. One lobs the ball as close to the target as he can. The other tries to knock away the opponent's boule. Once all the balls have been launched and the attempted blasting is over, measurements are made. Whoever ends up with the ball closest to the target receives 1 point. The first to reach 13 wins. Between rounds, players are happy to let curious travelers give it a try.
Okay, here we go, ready, here we go. Like so. We.
While visiting X, we'll spend most of our time.
Okay, so as you can see in the video, it's very sunny. Usually it's pretty warm, mild climate down there. And have you ever played bocce ball before? It's similar to boule. They also call it pétanque in France. And it's, of course, not just played in Aix-en-Provence, it's played all over the place. But, so it's kind of like, well, yeah, it's like bocce ball. The point is that you're trying to get, there's like a little, the little like rubber ball that you saw, the pink one. That's sort of the like what you're aiming towards, and you're trying to get as close to it as you can without touching it. So you take turns, and whoever gets theirs closest basically is the winner, and you can't go past it either. And what you can do is you can knock other people's out of the way. So anyway, it's obviously, it's a favorite game of little kids and old guys, like they showed, just because it doesn't take a lot of like super strength or anything. It's not an exhausting game to play, but it's just kind of fun and sort of a game of skill, and you learn how to perfect your rolling arm and all that stuff. Okay, now we're going to travel up north to Normandy, France, which is in Basse-Normandie, up here in the north in this region. So you'll see a little bit different of a climate and just different things going on. If we have time, we might run out of time, in which case we'll watch it after testing.
Saint-Michel. For over 1,000 years, the silhouette of this
Have you?
has
My
sent
mom
pilgrims
was
to
obsessed
very
with the
spirits.
show.
Oh, okay, yeah, you may
It
have.
does the same for tourists. Mont Saint-Michel, which through the ages has been among the top pilgrimage sites in all Christendom, floats like a mirage on the horizon. The vast Bay of Mont Saint-Michel, which turns into a mudflat at low tide, has long played a key role here. Since the 6th century, hermit monks have lived here in search of solitude.
The word hermit comes from an ancient Greek word for desert. The closest thing to a desert in this part of Europe was the sea. Imagine the desert this bay provided as that first monk climbed that rock, trying to get closer to God.
The rock, capped by an abbey, was even more isolated by its mythic tides. Pilgrims crossed the mudflat quickly and carefully, knowing that the sea swept in at the speed of a galloping horse. In the late 1800s, a road was built connecting the island to the mainland and letting pilgrims come and go without hindrance. The town of Mont Saint-Michel, with only 30 residents, entertains over 2 million visitors a year. Its main street, lined with shops and hotels leading up to the abbey, is grotesquely commercial. some consolation to remember that, even back in the Middle Ages, this was a retail gauntlet, with stalls selling souvenir medallions, candles, and fast food, like omelets. An island specialty is quick, tasty, and extremely fluffy omelets.
Oh.
Very popular for eating around pilgrims who needed to beat the tide, and they remain a hit with
Okay,
visitors
we'll
to
stop it there. We can add a few other videos for us to watch, so
enjoy the
we'll
show,
have to wait.
Make sure the traditional beat goes on. You can skirt over.
Okay. Now, did you guys have any questions about the comprehension questions from yesterday?